This is the true story of the 1991 Norfolk Southern Triple-Header, based on verified historical records from the Virginia Museum of Transportation, Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, and contemporary railway documentation. Chattanooga, Tennessee. November 3rd, 1991. The morning air hung thick with anticipation and the acrid smell of coal smoke. Three giants stood side by side in the yard, their massive forms creating shadows that stretched across the rails like iron fingers reaching back through time. This wasn't just another day in railroad history. This was the day when one locomotive wasn't enough, when two wouldn't do, when the impossible became reality. Leading the formation stood Southern Railway 4501, an 80-year-old Mikado painted in elegant Virginian green and gold. Born in 1911, she was the locomotive that started it all, the engine that sparked the entire steam excursion movement back in 1966. Behind her, the streamlined bullet nose of Norfolk and Western 611 gleamed in the autumn sunlight, its Tuscan red paint and gold striping reflecting the pinnacle of American passenger locomotive design. And at the rear, the articulated behemoth, Norfolk and Western 1218, the most powerful steam locomotive operating anywhere on Earth. 28 passenger cars stretched behind them. 3 separate engine crews made final preparations. Radio sets crackled with coordination checks. This was the 25th anniversary of Norfolk Southern's steam program, and the railroad had decided to mark it with something unprecedented. All 3 of their mainline steam locomotives pulling a single train. Together they represented nearly 250,000 pounds of combined tractive effort. Together they embodied 8 decades of American steam technology. Together they would create a spectacle that hadn't been seen on American rails in over 50 years. But why would anyone attempt something this complex? If you're fascinated by the golden age of steam, make sure you're subscribed. We're diving deep into these incredible machines and the people who kept them running. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode, where we'll explore what happened to each of these locomotives after the steam program ended. To understand this moment, we need to go back 25 years, 1966. The steam era was dying. Diesel locomotives had conquered America's railroads with brutal efficiency. Most steam locomotives were being cut up for scrap, their parts melted down, their stories lost forever. But Southern Railway's president, W. Graham Claytor Jr., made a different choice. He believed in preserving history. He believed in the power of these machines to inspire. So Claytor launched an excursion program with Southern 4501, that green Mikado at the front of today's triple-header. The response was overwhelming. People flocked to see steam in action again. What started as an experiment became a tradition. When Southern merged with Norfolk and Western to form Norfolk Southern in 1982, the new railroad expanded the program. They restored 2 N&W legends, the streamlined 611 and the articulated monster 1218. By 1991, the program had become one of the most successful heritage railway operations in America, but it faced challenges. Insurance costs were rising, freight traffic demands were increasing, and there was a growing sense that this golden age might not last forever. Robert B. Claytor, now president of Norfolk Southern and brother to the program's founder, wanted to create something memorable, something that would capture what these locomotives meant to railroad history, something that would show what steam power could really do. The solution? Run all 3 locomotives together on one train in one spectacular demonstration. Triple-heading a steam train isn't like hooking up diesel locomotives. Diesels can be controlled from a single cab, working in perfect electrical unison. Steam locomotives are different beasts entirely. Each one has its own personality, its own quirks, its own timing. Each crew operates independently. The danger: if one locomotive slips its wheels or applies power differently from the others, you could snap couplers, derail the train, or cause a catastrophic failure. The engineers had to work in perfect coordination through radio communication. The 4501's crew set the pace. The 611 and 1218 crews matched it exactly. Every throttle adjustment had to be synchronized. Every brake application had to be coordinated. It was like conducting an orchestra where a single wrong note could destroy the entire performance. Consider what they were working with. The 1218, that articulated giant at the back, could produce over 114,000 pounds of tractive effort. It was designed to haul 150-car coal trains through the Appalachian Mountains at sustained speeds of 70 miles per hour. The 611 could reach 110 miles per hour on flat track. The 4501, though smaller and older, was no lightweight. It had spent decades hauling freight through mountain grades and knew how to dig in and pull, but on this day they would be limited to 50 miles per hour. Not because of the locomotives themselves, but because of the coordination required, because of the 28 passenger cars behind them, because of the thousands of people who had come to Chattanooga to witness history. As morning turned to midday, the signal finally came. Steam pressure was up, water levels were good, crews were ready, it was time. The whistle blast echoed across Chattanooga like thunder. 3 locomotives, 3 distinct whistles, 3 different voices singing the same song of departure. The 4501's whistle, a 3-chime that had called across Southern rails since 1911, the 611's 6-chime. Arguably, the most beautiful whistle ever mounted on an American locomotive. And the 1218's deep, powerful 5-chime that could shake the ground beneath your feet. Cylinder cocks opened, releasing jets of condensed steam in white plumes. The drivers began to turn, slowly, carefully, all 3 locomotives moving as one. The exhaust began that distinctive rhythm of steam power, chuff, 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 but multiplied by 3, creating a symphony of mechanical power that no recording could truly capture. You had to be there. You had to feel it in your chest. You had to smell the coal smoke and hot steam. The train gathered speed. 28 cars, hundreds of passengers, all riding behind nearly £250,000 of pulling power. The 4501's crew worked their Johnson bar and throttle with the precision of experience. The 611 matched them perfectly, its streamlined form slicing through the air. The 1218 provided the raw grunt work, its articulated design allowing it to navigate curves while delivering enormous power. At Ooltewah, Tennessee, the plan called for a split. The 4501 would take 8 cars and make a round trip to Cleveland. The 611 and 1218 would continue with the remaining 20 cars to Atlanta. But for now, for these precious miles, they ran together. A rolling monument to the golden age of steam. A defiant roar against the dying of the light. History in motion. What's your favorite steam locomotive? Have you ever seen one of these giants in person? Drop a comment below. I read every single one, and your stories help shape future episodes. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into railway history, smash that like button to help this video reach more steam enthusiasts. The triple-header was magnificent. It was powerful. It was everything the organizers hoped it would be. But it was also a reminder of why steam had given way to diesel. The logistics were immense. The costs were staggering. The insurance requirements were becoming increasingly restrictive. And the freight demands on Norfolk Southern's network were making it harder to justify tying up mainline track for excursions. Each locomotive required a full crew, engineer, fireman, and often additional support staff. They consumed enormous amounts of coal and water. Maintenance was constant and expensive. Finding places to turn the locomotives around was becoming problematic as more turntables were removed. Finding facilities to service them was getting harder as steam maintenance expertise retired or passed away. The 1218 was particularly challenging. It was powerful, extraordinarily so, but that power came with enormous maintenance demands. After this 1991 season, the locomotive would be sent to Birmingham for a major overhaul that was expected to take until 1996. But Norfolk Southern's calculations were changing. The return on investment for maintaining 3 mainline steam locomotives was becoming questionable. In 1994, just 3 years after this triumphant triple-header, Norfolk Southern would make an announcement that shocked the Railfan community. The steam program was ending. Rising insurance costs. Decreasing availability of mainline track. The business case no longer made sense. The last excursion would run in December 1994. The 611 would pull it, The 1218 would never run again. The 4501 would return to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum for tourist operations on shorter lines. So what did the triple-header mean? In the moment, it was spectacle, raw power, living history. But looking back, it was something more profound. It was a last gasp of an era, a final demonstration of what steam technology could achieve before it was permanently retired from America's mainline railroads. It was preservation done right, but it was also a reminder that preservation has costs. Today, the story has an interesting epilogue. The 611 was restored again in 2015 and continues to operate excursions. It's a testament to modern preservation efforts and the continuing public appetite for steam. The 1218 sits on static display at the Virginia Museum of Transportation in Roanoke, a massive reminder of N&W's engineering prowess, but silent now, its fires cold. The 4501 runs tourist operations at the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, introducing new generations to the sounds and smells of steam power. The triple-header of 1991 taught us something important about preservation. These locomotives aren't just machines, they're not just historical artifacts, they're connections to a different America, an industrial America where coal and steam and human skill combine to move the nation. They're reminders of engineering achievements that seem almost unbelievable today. And they're warnings about what we lose when we let things slip away. When one locomotive wasn't enough, three came together. For one glorious moment, they showed what steam power meant, what it had accomplished, what it represented. The whistle echoes have faded, the coal smoke has dissipated, but the memory of that day, three legends running as one, that's something we can carry forward. That's the real power of preservation, not just saving machines, but saving the stories they tell and the inspiration they provide. History doesn't just happen. We choose what to remember. We choose what to preserve. And on November 3rd, 1991, America chose to remember that steam locomotives weren't just tools, they were triumphs. Thanks for joining me on this journey back to 1991. If you want to learn more about these locomotives and the preservation efforts keeping them alive today, check out the links in the description to the Virginia Museum of Transportation and Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. And if you loved this video, you'll definitely want to watch our upcoming episode on the final days of the Norfolk Southern Steam program. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until next time, keep the fires burning.